Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. Today, we're going to talk about coping mentally as a reseller. As you've seen on the thumbnail, we have Ella from Save Here First.
Hi.
I pulled a rookie move. My sound was still on the video. But we're just going to have a discussion today. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching that. But we're just going to have a discussion on coping mentally as a reseller because being a reseller is, especially if you do it by yourself, is lonely.
Yes.
And when things don't go the way you're expecting, it can really affect you mentally. And we're just looking to how, or just discussing how we deal with it ourselves and how others deal with it in the chat. If anyone wants to chime in on our discussion.
Yeah, that would be nice. If you're in the chat and you want to tell us how you cope with anxiety, depression, panic attack, that would be great.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for coming.
Hi, Lisa. She changed her name?
Yeah, I noticed that today when she left a comment on one of my videos.
All right. Change your name. You see, I'm so bad with names. Very, very bad with names.
I love your name, Lisa, by the way.
Well, Save Here First.
No, I love your. I was talking about Lisa's,
Oh,
but I wish, like, I like mine, but mine, I feel like everyone's name is easier to find in YouTube than mine because it's so like just no, who's gonna search Nady Pie like.
that's why I always put a notification. If once I follow somebody, I always try to put a notification so when they come on, because I tried to search for some people's name and I just couldn't find it. So
Hey, Nat man, thanks for showing up.
hi, yeah, thanks for showing up.
But yeah, I know from me, and you can let me know your thoughts on this, Ella. But when it comes to coping mentally, I have a problem when sales are not going well. It gets to me mentally because it's like, am I not doing enough? Am I just buying crap? So when it starts affecting me mentally, I don't list as much as I should be, and then you know how eBay is,
Yeah,
and if you're not listing, you're not making money. I mean, that's
you're
just
not
the way
making
the
money.
algorithm works, and that starts really getting to me as well. And it's like I shut down mentally, and it's almost like because I'm dealing with between like some of the health issues I'm dealing with, and then just some other things I'm dealing with, my personal life. All that together just makes me shut down, and it's like I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do anything. If I do get up, I just want to stare at the wall. I could stare at the wall all day, and be content just hoping the day passes by.
Yeah,
And I know that's just kind of what goes into it for me, anyways. Where my sales can contribute to my happiness. I know it sounds sad, but it's just part of the reality because um, I want my store and everything to do really well. And when I feel like I am putting the effort in and the results are not there, it's hard not to be discouraged.
yeah, I'm like that as well. I feel the same way that you feel, but I try to um cope with it by talking about it with friends. So I only made like 7 sales last week. It was slow for me, and I was saying to myself, well, I always say a sale is a sale, but I wouldn't lie to you. I get really depressed. Just like you, I ask myself, what am I doing wrong? What am I not listing that is making sales? And I get even discouraged when I see other people posting their tons and tons of sales that they've made, you know, and I'm like, okay, so what did I do? What did I do wrong? And I go into that deep dark place, no, and I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want the curtains drawn and just keep questioning myself in my
Yeah.
mind. And when I start thinking, I don't think about food. I don't think about want to do anything. And that just makes it more depressing for me.
Yeah.
So I started to think,
Hi, Veronica.
I know, like, I don't want to be in that type of situation. I want to get out of it. So when I see people make those type of sales, I celebrate them instead of feeling bad. I celebrate them, and I say, okay, I'm just gonna continue to list. I will just continue to list. Get out of that funk, like you said. I remember you said that in your video, like, okay, what do you do when you're in a funk? So I
Yeah.
try as much as possible to get out of my funk by not staying in bed, because if you stay in bed, that's when the depression, everything, you can see the four walls just close in on you. So I try not to stay in bed. I try to be active and just keep listing.
Yeah, and that's one thing I try to do too to get myself out of the funk. I have a problem of redoing my inventory room all the time. Like I'm constantly changing because to me it helps keep my mind from going into like the deep void I call it, and just focusing on my depression. So then I'm like, if I keep myself busy, keep myself, listing some, and then also I do a lot of cross listing. So if eBay's not working out, I do pretty good on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
So I cross list and I'm like, you know what, this is going to work out for me. And then like I said, I probably mess with my inventory way too much than the normal person because it's like I guess I'm kind of using that as a crutch, almost like a coping mechanism to try to keep myself in a positive mindset where I'm like, even though I may not be listing as much, I'm still contributing to my business. Hi, Brickhouse.
Yeah. I do cross listing as well. So, but the thing is that once I'm listing on Poshmark, I list on Macari, and then I try to list on Facebook. I don't list a lot of stuff on Facebook and eBay, so that's what I do. But I still feel that I haven't accomplished a lot. So I can feel myself getting overwhelmed. I can feel myself like this dark cloud, like a clock coming over me, and it's like, okay, I haven't done enough. But then I'm saying, yes, I have. I have listed, I'm listing, I'm not making sales, I don't know what's going. So my friend told me a while back, she said, Ella, you're overthinking stuff, you're overdoing stuff. So I was like, okay, so what do I do? She said, don't worry about it. Just list it and just leave it there, And she said, go back to a listing that you've posted maybe about 2 months ago that haven't sold, and just relist those. So that's what I started doing. I started relisting posts that haven't sold. They've been sitting down there for a month or two. And when I start relisting those, I started making sales.
Yeah, I've actually did that because I watched a few other resellers that said if you go back and relist them, change them up just a little bit, then it will get those items back into I guess the algorithm.
Yeah.
Because they kind of lose their, once you list something, then it's like right there. I feel like at the front of eBay for a while, and then if it's been there for months, which I mean I'm guilty of it, of having items up for months and not revising them. If I don't do that, I notice that they just sit there, and if I revise them, then not all of them sell, but a couple of them will sell. So I need to get on a better habit of doing that as well. Hi, Cameron.
Hi, Cameron. So we know because I've been writing down my notes, like I told you before we went live, and I got some points, some stuff that we can talk about, and some information that we can give out. These are information that has actually helped me. It's not a cure for me, but it does help me. When people say, "Oh, Ella, I don't understand. Where do you get your energy from? You're always bubbly and things like." these are stuff I've been practicing over the years to help me cope with anxiety. I wouldn't lie to you, it does creep into my life once in a while, but then I know that I can do certain things to help me cope with it. So we know that anxiety, they said, according to recent studies, 72% of business owners are affected by mental health. 72%. Okay. And that's being affected by mental health, anxiety. You're just like, oh, that nervous feeling.
Yeah.
I so much hate that nervous feeling that I get that comes over me. I hate it. What do you do? Do you do any kind of exercise or anything for you to overcome your anxiety?
I don't have the best coping mechanisms, and I understand that. It's like, and I'm always like researching things. So one thing I do is, I don't know if you've heard of. I was never into wrestling, but he was an ex wrestler, Diamond Dallas Page. He came out with yoga, and it actually his yoga actually has helped people that are like disabled coming back from war and stuff, and they've got their mobility back and stuff. And I have a lot of spinal issues, and I started doing yoga not just to help with my mobility and everything, but also to help with myself mentally. And it's like, so I got it. I try to get myself in a good habit. I do it about 3 times a week right now. I need to try to do it every day.
Okay.
But I use like his yoga program as a kind of like refresh my mind, and try to help with my anxiety and my depression. And I also listen, which some people think I'm crazy for, but I listen to a lot of like manifestation type of sound.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, they're on YouTube as videos, but I just listen to them in the background to kind of ease my mind. So that's just a couple of things I do. What are your go tos?
Okay. My number one is
Hi, Janet.
actually watching comedy.
Oh, nice.
Because
Yeah.
yes, I watch a lot of comedy and I watch reruns. My go-to is the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
I can play I can play that because every episode you are laughing. They're always cracking you up. So you will have to. And I know that laughter is actually really healthy for you. I do have it down in my notes here, and it says humor helps you relax and it boosts your immune system. So yeah, I that's my go-to. It's like if I'm working, I'm doing anything, I put on comedy, which is the Golden Girls is just one of them, and I laugh. So it helps me to forget that I'm in this hole or dark depressive mindset, or it gets me out of it because I'm always laughing, and so it helps. Another thing is exercising, going for walks. I used to love to go out and walk. I walk for like 4 miles a day. Okay, and I used to love it. But with the COVID hitting, I stopped. I couldn't go out to walk around, so I decided to get myself an exercise bike. So I have a small exercise bike, and that's what I go on my exercise bike, and I do that. I ride a bike probably about, I try to do like 20-30 minutes if I can, and it helps with my breathing as well. That breathing exercise, that's another thing. Trying to do breathing exercise just to help um your anxiety as well.
Yeah. I mean, those are good. That's one thing I've been trying to get into is walking more. 'Cause one, my doctor wants me to do it more, anyways, just for circulation. But it's something that I need to get into more because I used to weight lift all the time, and then with my back issues and everything, I kind of had to stop because my doctor's like, "Well, you shouldn't be putting that much pressure on." I'm like, then what's the point of going to the gym if I cannot tried to lift as much weight as I can. Like,
Yeah.
but I
But
need to.
yeah, but there's other ways. There's so many things that you can do. Okay. Like you said, you listen to meditation tapes. You can listen to music. Music is another thing that I like to listen to.
Yeah.
When I'm out, like you said, when you're out of the store and you share that piece of story with me, I'm like that. When I'm outside, I always have my headset on. I want to listen to music because then I can control the situation. I don't like to go out, and when I go out, I don't like to be in crowds. So with the music in my head, that's all I can hear. If anything happens, I don't stand and watch. You will never catch me standing and watching what's going on, because I'm just walking off. I don't want to add to my depression. So I just keep it moving. That's the kind of person I am. So I have that music in my ear, and it kind of helps me. So sometimes when I sing to myself or I'm talking to myself, I'm like, take deep breaths, and I do that. And that kind of like calms me down and just helps me as well.
Yeah, I mean that's good. Like I'm one of those people too that I go to the store to get in and out. I don't want to run into anyone that I know, nothing like that, because I have a problem because one, I hate going to the store, period. But when I'm there, if I see someone I know, even if it may be my in-laws, my own mom or anything, I hide and go to the opposite end of the store until I can, and I just try to avoid everyone because I just struggle with having to communicate, especially if I'm in a place I don't want to be. So
Yeah.
I try to time when I go to the store too, where I know where most people would not be there. So I mean, it's not the best hiding from people to deal with it, but it's something that's worked for me. Hi, Patrick.
Hi. So bringing it back to like the business part of reselling, how to deal with customers that um, could actually put you in a situation where you can have a breakdown. I'll call it breakdown because that's what I call mine. Like I'm having a breakdown, I'm having a panic attack, or you know, and we know that customers, buyers can actually take you there. This happened to me today. Um, a lady wanted to buy some. She bought some, the beer holders. I have two boxes, and I listed one box on Macari because Macari don't let you do add to cart or bundle, you know. And she bought one, and then she said, "Do you have a second one?" I said, "I do, but if you want to buy both so you can save money on shipping, why don't you go to my Poshmark closet and you can buy both and save on shipping?" So she decided to do that. So today she received it and gave me a 5 star, which I was happy about. I take pride in what I do. But then she left this comment, which actually pissed me off. I would have responded to her, but I like calmed myself down and I didn't respond. And I said, "Let it go, Ella." This is what she said. She gave me a 5 star and said, "Tip for thought. Dish the cardboard and excess packaging on non-damageable products. Make less cost for shipping. Customer more likely to purchase." So to me, I want to know what the hell did she. So because I wrapped this stuff, and actually, you're talking about you already paid $7.49, which you already paid for the packaging. It's a box. It doesn't really matter. You've already paid for it. Poshmark doesn't care. They've already said you can ship it in this size box as far as less than 5 pounds. So I put it neatly in the box, put tissue paper over it, and now you're telling me that I might not get repeat customer because I pack my packaging so neat, and I went into, I started to feel the heat overcoming me, which, I wanted to respond to her, but I just said to myself, "Ella, cool it, take deep breaths, don't even think about it." So I was telling my friend about it today, and she said, "Oh, that's another good one you should mention when you do the show today." So, how do you deal with customers that just because they can actually really take you there too?
I mean, with me, so I have a pretty dark sense of humor, and it takes a lot to offend me. Like I don't even know if it's possible half the time to offend me because I deal with negative people with laughter. like like it's like what do you listen? Are you listening to yourself? Like I know I told this story on my live show with Chuck, but I
Yeah.
had a Facebook um, woman come out. She wasn't even going to buy the product. I was selling. It was at the very beginning of the pandemic, and I buy basically they're almost like personal care lots from Wholesale Ninjas at times, and they had a thing of kids diapers, one thing, and I listed it. I was not price gouging because the same diapers were like $8.98 at Walmart before tax, and I had them listed for $10. And she messaged me. She goes, "You know those are not $10 at Walmart. Those are $8." She goes, "I'll give you five, and that's all I'm going to give you." And I'm like, "What? What is happening?" And then I go, "Well, sorry." I go, It's $10. I'm not price gouging." She goes, You are what's wrong with people." And she goes, so I went back and I'm like, "If you don't want it, don't buy it. I'm not going to sell it to you at
Yeah.
this point." And she goes, "I cannot. Those are not worth more than $5. Someone can go into Walmart and pay $8.98 for it." And I go, "But if you're buying from me, you don't have to have the stress of walking through the back of Walmart to go get a diaper." I go,
Yes.
"It's $10." I go, "If you don't want it, move on." And she was like, "People like you are going straight to hell," and like all this stuff.
Oh
I'm
my gosh,
and I'm
you
just
went
like,
there
"Well,
with
this
that.
escalated quickly." And she goes, "I have an Etsy store and I know how to run a business. Thank you." Unlike you, obviously. And then so I was a psychopath and I looked up her Etsy store and then I go, "Are you talking about the store where you haven't had a sell in 3 years?"
Uh
And she
huh.
goes, "Oh, that's a different account. That's not even the regular account." And I go, "I'm just gonna let you know I've reported you." And I go, "You need to learn how not to be such a sucky human being." Like, like I don't understand why you come after like resellers, which I have a lot of people that have sent me nasty messages because they're like, "You are what's wrong with this country and everything" on
Oh
reselling, and it's
my.
like, and I try telling them like, if you go to Walmart, they're doing the same thing. You think they're selling it to you at cost?
Yes.
No.
They probably got it for under 50 cents.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just it drives me insane because like that stuff doesn't get to me because I just know how ugly people can be.
Yeah.
But it's just like you don't know one I'm what I'm dealing with mentally anyways, and then I don't want to see that crap. Like,
Yeah.
it's like if you don't have nothing nice to say, it's not like I'm price gouging or anything. Just leave me alone.
Mhm. Yeah,
Hi,
Lisa said,
Serenity.
she said, "I'm like Ella. I want a voodoo doll for crazy buyers since I can't reach through the screen and choke the shit out, shit out of them."
Hey, Court, that is awesome, Lissa.
That is it. I wish I'm like, pull them out from my screen and like, let me tell you, I for me, okay, um, I don't know. It could be just something inside of me, but when I get a like somebody trying to be negative or anything, I just because I always try to do my best. So I always think that because I'm doing my best, somebody will appreciate it. But I just feel once they come and attack me, like, why are you selling this for $50? You know, it's sold at Costco for $10, or it's sold at Walmart for $5. You know, the heat just comes through. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if you feel that, but I feel it. It just like comes like woo, and that's the anger. And when
Yeah,
I really don't want to feel it, and it takes a while for it to really go down. And that's one thing I don't like. It's how do I cope with this. I'm angry that that person said something stupid, but okay, I'm going about my day now. Why am I still feeling like I'm about to explode? I don't know where
Yeah.
that comes from.
No, I get angry because it's like, why do people? I guess I'm the mindset. I don't understand why people cannot just get along. Mind your own business and just get along with everyone. Like, why do you have to take time out of your day to send like a nasty comment, or like, I guess I just don't get it, because I know we don't live in a perfect world, but it's like, could you imagine if everyone just minded their own business and then helped each other out when someone needed help, how much better the place would be? I know that's a fairy tale type of world to live in, but it just frustrates me.
Yeah. I have this note here where I wrote down, it's like experiencing stress, anxiety, and depression is if you find it hard to concentrate on making decisions. Um, if you know that you're finding it hard to concentrate and make this decisions, then you might be stressed or having depression about something. Or if you're feeling overwhelmed, because people don't know when they're stressed or when they're having a panic attack or an anxiety. But if you know that you are finding it hard to concentrate, you are feeling overwhelmed, or you're feeling close to tears and tense, finding it hard to get out of bed, like you said. I said that too. Sometimes I find it hard to get out of bed, but I push myself to get out of bed, and spending less time with family. I don't have my family around me, and I think sometimes when I do talk to my sister, because my family is in England, when I do talk to my sister, I don't want her to say, okay, I'll talk to you again soon, or when we FaceTime each other and I see her, it brings tears to my eyes, and I miss my family. And she will say, well, why don't you come back to England? I'm like, yeah, but my husband lives down here. I don't want to be packing up my stuff to go back to England. But that's
Yeah.
I miss them. So it's like when I see, if I'm not around family or my close friends, I don't have people to talk to, that all that just makes me feel uh depressed. And then I try to find ways to get out of it. People say, okay, occupy your mind and work and list, but I try not to do that. So I get in contact with my friend. I have a friend that she calls me almost every day because she knows my situation. So she calls me. She said, I'm just calling to check on you. And she could just be on the phone. I say, what are you doing? She said, I'm listening. I was like, okay. And because she's there, it kind of helps me. So I'm like, okay, I have somebody, that calls me every day just to check on me, make sure that I'm okay. So that kind of helped me. You have your wife, you have your daughter there. How do you still deal with being depressed, but you have your family with you? Like, I don't have mine with me.
Um,
How do you cope with
like
that?
so, like I was pretty open with my wife a couple weeks ago, just to let her know where I was at mentally, because she sees things affecting me and stuff like that, and it makes her sad because like I was just straight up with her, like, I feel like I put on a front for the day to get through the day, because I don't want to bring anyone down that's around me, especially those two.
Yeah.
So I deal with like my depression with basically putting on a smile for the day, because in return, I hope that helps me try to cope with it, which I know it's bad to try to deal with everything yourself, but it's just how I am, unfortunately. And I know, I know you guys were talking about comedy before. I actually, um, people find me quite funny, but I think I've harnessed any trauma that I've had in my life, and then just dealing with the negative stuff in my life, I turn that into comedy and jokes.
Yeah.
And like I mean, like I've told people in the past that were close to me, where I've been like, I mean, the people that seem the happiest are usually the most depressed. So you got to think about that. So you got to be careful what you say. I mean, I'm always careful what I say to someone because you don't know what they're dealing with, even though they
Yeah.
may appear to be happy. So with them, I just try to. I don't want to bring anyone down around me because that's just going to add to my depression and stress. So I try to, put on a happy face and try to get through my day.
Another thing that I don't like is when people say get over it.
Oh my God, that shoots right through me.
The get over it, it kills me. Don't tell me to get over it. You don't know. You should, you know, you're not in my shoes and you don't know what's going on in my life for you to tell me get over it. You know, I'm grateful that you don't feel the way I'm feeling. That there's different level of being depressed. There's different level of having anxiety and stress. There's so many levels. Okay, I've gone to the level of committing suicide, not once, not twice. Okay, so that is like the level I've gone up to, and I don't know why. I just feel that I'm just tired, you know. My first time was like when I was in England, and after I just every time I don't understand. It's like I'd be sitting down there, I'll be like far away, and all of a sudden there's tears running down my face, and I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know why I'm crying. And one day I just felt I've had enough. I just don't understand this. I don't know whether because I was lonely or maybe I just don't like what's happening. I don't understand life. And it was like, okay, easy. Just jump in the front of the train and we can forget about this. That was 2005, you know, and I was at my lowest point and I just got really fed up and I didn't want to think about life at all. I just wanted to end it. But I'm just so grateful I was able to get out of it that quickly, to get out of that type of situation. But was it the first time? Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't the first. It wasn't the second. But now I've learned how to cope with it. That I don't think suicide thoughts anymore. I try to be positive. My sister-in-law, she bought me this pack which says what am I feeling and what does it mean. She sent this to me a few years ago. Okay, and inside it comes with a book where you can actually write about your feelings. So that's
Oh,
like,
that's neat.
huh?
I said that's neat.
Yeah, people always say it's good to write down your feelings. So what I decided to do, I started writing down my feelings. And inside it comes with a CD as well that you can listen to, and it comes out with these tags that you can actually place on boards. Okay, so it comes with this, and it tells you when you behave this way, I feel so. Then you can say, okay, you can put it like you can see the top one, and I say,
Yeah.
I feel angry, I feel overwhelmed, I feel fearful, unhappy, frustrated, frightened, annoyed, depressed, discouraged, alone, anxious, upset. I put it there, because that's what I'm feeling. But then I take it all off, and then I try to deal with the positive part. It says, um, when you behave like this, I am feeling hopeful, grateful, blessed, inspired, joyful, cheerful, positive, energized. So I try to use positive words, and I stick them on my board, my little board. I stick them on there, you know, just so that kind of like really helps me. So do you write down? Do you do a journal?
No, I need to. Like it would. I feel like it would really benefit me just listening you to basically tell me what you're doing because that's one thing I want to do. But my problem is I don't want someone to find my journal and then freak out because of the dark thoughts that go through my head all the time. And it's just one of those. I don't know. I guess I just have I have a fear of people
So
knowing what actually
you're
goes through
adding
my head.
fear. You're adding fear to fear. You're adding fear to your own anxiety. Because you're saying, I don't want to write it down because I'm fearful that if I do write it down, somebody will see it and then they will read all about my dark thoughts. It just depends on where you keep your diary. And I've had this since 2010.
Oh
And I
wow.
can tell you, my husband has never seen this. Has never seen it, and I've had it 2010, and I've talked about him inside of it. That how he makes me feel. When I feel which send makes me depressed, or when he talks to me. And one day I said to him, you know what? I don't like the way you talk to me, because when you talk to me, I started to, I have this panic attack when you talk to me. And because I've written it down several times, but I never had the courage to actually tell him sometimes, like, don't talk to me like that. I'm not your child. I'm a grown ass woman. And, and it was like, oh, I'm just angry because of something. I said, yeah, I know you're angry, but you don't talk to me like that. I'm your wife. I am not your child, you know. So I had to get that courage, because I've been writing it down and saying, I don't like the way he talks to me sometimes. I will have the courage to now say to him, to his face, I'm like, don't talk to me like that. And let him know how I felt. And he was, I'm really sorry. I don't want you to feel that way at all. So I will advise you, write it down. There's always, you can find ways to, like, um you know keep it, hide it, so nobody finds it. You know a place where you can put it, but you write it down, it will help you.
Okay, I'm definitely going to do that because I feel like it would help because I know I mean, if I'm just being completely honest, if it wasn't for my wife and daughter, I probably would have checked out a long time ago just because I mean, I'm just like, what's the point? That's the thought that goes through my head all the time. It's like, what's the point of all this? Like, I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
thoughts
there's
that
a
go through my
comment.
head.
Ella's always here for you. Oh, thank you, Patty. There's a comment, like you said, if it wasn't for finding this community in March 2020, I don't think I could have made it. And that is really true for me. I found this community in 2020 as well, and it was
Same here.
October. And if it wasn't for the, me watching a lot of the YouTubers out there, the resellers, I don't think I would have been. I don't think I would have made it, because, like, I've come a long way dealing with my depression and my panic attack and everything. But I think I would have packed up and I would have gone back to England. I don't care what my husband would have said. I don't think he would have said anything to make me stay. You know, I would have gone back and I was like, okay, I just need to see my family. Um, but I've embraced the reseller community because they've embraced me, and I'm so grateful for that. And I remember I was watching and somebody was saying, mention on a live, and it's like, oh, I see some people everywhere. They're in this chat, there's this live chat, they're in this live chat. It's like, where do they find the time to actually uh sell, to list, to do this, to do that? And to me, that touched me so much. I felt really, I won't say I felt annoyed, but it took a while. My anxiety was going up. I'm like, okay, am I in the chats too much? Am I just going into people's live and saying hi to everybody too much? Should I step back? I actually stepped back that day, and I didn't return to the chat. And I kept thinking, that kept going on in my mind, in my head all the time. It's like, when people say stuff, it does affect you. And it's like, you have to really think before you say stuff. Me being in those, I'm not saying he directed that to me, but that's how I felt, because I know
Yeah.
that I'm in the chats. I watch a lot. I don't watch a whole lot, but I am in most. And I mean there, because I'm not only learning from people, I'm always, it's just like I have distant friends that I have a chance to talk to. I don't go out because of my anxiety and panic attack. I really don't go out. My husband would say, you should leave the house. And I'm like, to go where? It's like, just go walk around. I'm like, I don't feel like it. But I feel comfortable that I've lived in Boynton Beach for 4 years now, and I don't have one single friend out there. I don't leave my house and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go to my friends down the road." I do not. My friends are online. Okay, my friends are when I go on. I log on in the morning, and somebody has a live. I'm in there saying hello, hello, hello. I never go out there and say hello to nobody unless I'm going to the post box and somebody pass me and say hi, and I say hi back. So do you understand that how I feel when I come to the live and I could say hello to at least 20 people that
Yeah.
don't know me and they say hi back to me, and I feel fine, I feel good. But for that person to say, oh, what do they do? I said, I multitask. When I'm watching a live, I could be listening, you know. I could be listening, taking time listening. I can be taking time doing other things. But don't think because you see me in the different lives that I don't have a life. I have a life.
Yeah. And I'm like you too. I feel like I'm closer to people in the community that's part, on YouTube than I am to a lot of people that are in person. Because I keep to myself a lot as well.
Yeah. It's,
Hi,
so
Jen.
yeah, hi Jen. I felt that way, Ella, but I just be myself in the life, even though sometimes I have to force myself to not have doubts. Yeah, I do try to be, I try to be myself as well. I don't know how to be anybody else. And the thing is that when I go to the lives, uh, and say hello to people, sometimes I don't really um do a lot of talking in the lives. I just like to just sit and just read what people are saying or hear what people are saying, and I just like to just say hi to people, you know. But that's why I'm saying you have to be very careful when you're out there. You're saying something you don't know how it could come across and affect somebody else, and
Yeah.
that person doesn't know it, but it did affect me when that person said whatever they said like that day. It affected me and I shut down my computer. But then I thought to myself, I'm like, Ella, get back on there. Get back on there and do what you normally do. And say hi to people. Keep doing what you're doing. And I did it. It made me feel better. You know,
Yeah.
it made me feel better. And it's one way of trying to get rid of the panic attack, the anxiety, and the depression as well. Happy
Yeah.
Ella is
It's,
one of my social Oh, Janet. I love Janet. Thank you. Ah, yeah. So, you know, um, we
and
don't.
one thing that I used to let bring me down too, and I don't know if maybe you can relate to this, but I used to like basically subconsciously live my life for other people, if that makes sense. Like
Yes.
pleasing other people, and then
Yes.
about a year ago or about 2 years ago, I'm just like, you know what? Screw everyone else. I'm going to do what
Yes.
makes me happy, and if that disappoints you, good. Like I don't care about your feelings, your beliefs. Like I'm living my life. If that
Yes.
bothers you, then maybe you should not watch me live my life or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, like I ended up this past year, I ended up cutting a lot of people out of my life, family too, because I'm just like, we're not share. I mean, one, I learned who truly cared and who didn't, and
Yes.
then other times I found out that I really did not have a relationship with them. That it was all superficial, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna live my life. If they don't like it, fine. And I just started cutting unnecessary people out of my life, and it's liberating.
Yes. I did the same thing that you did. Um, even up to not talking to my dad and my mom for a very long time. I didn't talk to them for a long time, because I, like I told you, you know, when I felt like I've had enough and I wanted to commit suicide, okay, I went to work. As soon as I got to work, I told my boss, I said, I need a year off work. And he said, okay. He signed me a year off work. And then they later came back and they took it and said, oh, I'm sorry, we can't sign you off out for a year. And I resigned there and then. I just like, you know what? My happiness, my health is more important. So I resigned straight. I wrote my letter there and I said, I've had it. I've worked for the British government for 10 years just to give me a 1 year break. You're not going to give me a 1 year break? I just like, forget it. And that was it. I just resigned and I left. And when I came to the States, I cut off. Nobody knew where I was. My family, my sister, nobody knew where I was. I just left. And almost for a year, people were looking for me, looking for me. But I told a friend of mine, and she was the one that had to tell some of my family that, oh, Ella, she's okay. She's in the States. My dad was so mad. You know, he was so mad. He was like, you left, you didn't say anything, you know. And I said, Dad, I'm grown. I'm about to turn 40 because I left when I was like 39. I said, I'm about to turn 40. So no, you know, I don't need to tell anybody about my business because you guys are the ones stressing me out, you know. So yeah, I didn't talk to them, and then that was like 2006, and I didn't talk to them at all for years. And then I, you know, after about 10 years, I started talking to them. You know, you won't believe it. I only started talking to my mom like last year when my dad died.
Oh wow!
But I felt at peace. I said, you know what? I forgive you for whatever you've done to me, as you know, my parents, my siblings. I forgive you guys. But you know what? Just cutting you guys out of my life for that period, it gave me peace of mind. I was able to deal with me. You know, I was able to deal with myself. And gradually I started letting them into my life one by one. But you know, sometimes it's good to have family around to help, but sometimes family wouldn't understand. So I'm so glad that I have a friend of mine that I can talk to about it, and she's ready to listen, and she's ready to tell me what to do. I know that when I do have a panic attack, I used to call my husband, but sometimes when he's at work, he can't answer the phone at work, because I used to call him when I'm having a panic attack. I can call him and he could just say, okay, Ella, breathe. And I don't have that. I call my friend and she will talk me and just say, Ella, just breathe, just take deep breaths. And that kind of like really helped me. The reason I actually wanted to talk about this is because I was having a panic attack when I was on the Lone Star picker, Louis. I was on his live one day. I just got on and we're just chatting, and I got these deliveries for boxes I ordered, and I wasn't really expecting it. This is what happened to people like us that always plan and organize. So it came and I wasn't expecting the box, and I got the boxes and I started having a panic attack. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having a breakdown. I'm having a panic attack. And I looked at the chat and Jen wrote and she said, Ella, just breathe. And that kind of helped me. And then I just like, okay. And I took my book and I was like, okay. I just started to calm myself down. And then Louis, he said to me, Ella, you know what? You can help by listening to some kind of meditation, some music and things like that. And I was like, I never expected that it will happen to me at all live, that I would have a panic attack live, but it did happen to me. But I was glad that Jen was in there, because I was like, okay, I'm about to say, okay, bye. But I didn't want to do that. But I just like try to play it off and try to calm myself down. But when I looked down and I saw what Jen wrote, it just kind of helped me a lot.
Yeah, my family knows not to drop in and surprise. I have to plan. If someone wants to visit, it has to be planned out because I do not do well with surprises or anything like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's so nice. Jenny said I can call on her. Yeah, Lisa, that's right. Your family could be the worst of all. Like it can make you just do stuff you don't want to do. You know, they take you there, and it's like, you know what? Forget it. I remember I had a friend, and I said, look, if I could cut my family from my life for years and don't talk to them, so I can have peace of mind, I can do that to you too. I said, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna stress over you because I decided I wasn't gonna stress over my family. So I put them at arm's length, you know, like stay
Yeah,
where you are. So I, like we talked about just trying to go over because we only got like 7 minutes left. So just trying to go over what we're talking about today is how do we cope with uh, panic attack, being having anxiety when you're a reseller. So there's a lot we try to cope with not just being a business owner, because when you are a business owner, you it's fun to be your own boss, but then you're saying how much time do you dedicate in doing the business and then neglect your personal life, you know, because you can spend more time on your business trying to list, trying to source, trying to do your books, trying to do your spreadsheet, your taxes, and all that can bring stress to you, you know. And it's like you have to, just how you have a 9 to 5 job, why don't you do that with your business so you can spend time with family if you have family, even if you don't have family, spend time with yourself trying to find something to do. Go for a walk, take a bike ride, cook if you like to cook, just do something to take your mind off. We were talking about how stressful it comes for us if we don't make a sale. You know,
yeah,
we talk about how stressful it is. When I don't make a sale and we've been listing. So at the end of the day, I take my mind away. I focus on something else, you know, and then I won't say it doesn't worry why I haven't made a sale, but I don't let it bother me the way it used to.
yeah. And I mean, that's something I still gotta get better at. Like I said, I'm trying different um, coping things. One thing I am going to try, and I'm glad you brought it up, is writing things down because I think that will definitely be a coping mechanism that will be positive in my opinion. And I appreciate you suggesting that.
Yeah. Um, you know, I wrote down in my notes, I say connect with other resellers, ask questions. We all don't know it. If you see me on the chat, it's not because I haven't been in business. I just started reselling in October. I've had my business since 2008. I've been in business. And the only person that was able to help me cope with my anxiety and panic attack was my husband when he was there. Unfortunately, right now, my husband is 4 hours away from me because of work. I had to leave and come down here because of work. And I'm away. Yeah, I can pick up a phone and call him and he can talk to me and calm me down, but he's not here. So how do I do it? I have my own business. I have to take care of business as well. So I have to take it step by step, one day at a time. I have to plan. I have to get my journal, write things down so I can overcome my fear, connect with other resellers, learn from them. And that's why I wanted to connect to you when I heard your story. And I was like, oh, I can learn something from you.
No, I appreciate it. I've learned from you just speaking to chatting a little bit what we did, and then tonight has been very helpful. And I mean, that's the thing. That's what I love about this community. We can lean on each other and help each other. And I've not ran into anyone, thankfully, and hopefully I don't, that has been negative in the reseller community, like towards me, or said something negative towards me. And I'm thankful for that. And I mean, it does help, even if there's a lot of lives that I get into, but I don't ever say anything. I'm kind of like the creepy lurker in the background, just listening to it. And like, especially the ones that where they're talking about, mental health and everything. I mean, it is helpful to know that you're not the only one struggling, that this is, I mean, if you think about it, it's a really like a pandemic when it comes to mental health, because people don't want to talk about it. And you have so many people suffering from it as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I mean, like, thankfully for us, we have the reseller community. And then there's a lot of people out there that don't have that like community to go to for support or anything. And it's just sad to me.
Yeah, it is sad. And I'm so glad
Hi,
that I was
Bobby.
able to reach out to you when I heard you talked about it. I always wanted to talk about it and like, how do people cope? Because we'll always hear the fun side of reselling, how people go thrifting.
Yeah.
And I don't. And this is the reason why I don't go out there. I've tried it. Let me tell you, I've planned. I've had my bike ready. I've had my bags ready. I put it on the door so I can remember everything. And I got myself ready and said, okay, I'm going to go thrifting. I'm going to go to Goodwill, or I'm going to go somewhere. And I go to bed. I've already planned it. And then when I get up in the morning, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go through that door. And I said, you know what, Ella, we'll do it some other time. I put my bag down, and I've stopped myself from going out. And so I find out, okay, what's the best way to do? Because when my friend said, oh, you can go to Goodwill, I said, but I don't really like to go out. So she started sending me boxes,
Yeah.
I said, okay, you know what? I go to Goodwill. I'll start sending you stuff. My husband just texted me. He said, I got the vaccine today. So it's like, so she started sending me the box, and she said, Ella, just go out to Goodwill. And I went into Goodwill. Look, when I went in, I couldn't wait to get the hell out. I picked up a few things and I was out. It took me, when I started watching people going to Goodwill, I said, okay, Ella, let's breathe, and go. And I tried to take that step, and I did go again, and I've been there twice this year. Last year I went there twice too, and I've been there twice. And I said to myself, I don't really feel comfortable going. And I'm like, you know what? I can actually thrift source from the comfort of my home. I can go online and I can order. Why do I have to go to Goodwill when I can go on Goodwill and buy a mystery box or buy something on Goodwill? So I went on there and I placed an order for a box of plush, and it came through and I was like, okay, cool. And I even got some good ones, instead of going and trying to find where sometimes I can't find any good one. And I paid $8 to take Uber down there, $8 back. I've spent picked up few things. I spent over $20 already,
Yeah.
And the comfort of my home, I didn't have to take Uber. I ordered the box. It cost me $19 with 20 plush inside. $19. That's what it cost me. $5 shipping. So, comfort of my home, I can sit down and I can source. I don't have to go out. That's what I've learned, because I suffer from panic attack. I go out when I'm in crowd. I start to get nervous. I start to sweat. I start to I need to get out. I need to get out. Where's it's like everywhere becomes dark, even though it's daylight.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you there, because there's a lot of times where I want to go like yard selling and go to different thrift stores by myself, but I just don't do it because it's like a mental block for me. And I do a lot of buying off high bid auction site, because at least if they don't have shipping, the ones that I go to literally bring it to your car. And then sometimes I have to get myself mentally ready to drive there, to be like, oh, even though it's like a 5-minute drive from my house, I'm just like trying to prepare myself mentally to pick up the items I bought. And it's like, I don't even have to get out of my car. Like, what is wrong with me?
But there's nothing, people might think there's something wrong with us because we don't like to go out, but it's nothing that we can do. We do try, but sometimes it is what it is. That's what I say. It is what it is. You just have to love us for who we are. We are humans. We don't want this mental illness, but it is what it is. We can't go outside. We don't feel like going outside. And I used to go outside, but my going outside now, it just feels like, okay, I just want to, I got all these demons trying to talk to me, and all I want to do is just walk in front of a bus. But I say to myself, when I start to feel like a fear coming on me, and I don't know where it's coming from, I always say to myself, I quote the scriptures and I say, God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of love and a sound mind. And I find out that I start to, feel good within myself. I keep repeating it. God has not given me the spirit of fear. God has not given me the spirit of fear. Because anxiety, panic attack, all that is from fear. Fear of not wanting to go outside. Fear of not wanting to be in a crowd. Fear because somebody said something and, you might be thinking, oh, what that person said is directed at you. All those fear. And you don't want to feel fear. So you keep saying to yourself, look, I don't want to be afraid. And I keep repeating this. And it helps me a lot. Trying to be spiritual, trying to pray about it and keep the demons away.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we've gone past our, wow. It's just, 2 minutes after we were going to just do this for about an hour. And people just started coming into the chat.
I know.
Oh, guys, for those coming in, we're just talking about mental health. That's and
awesome,
how
Roy.
to cope with it. So we're actually coming to a close. So what do you want to say? Do you want to do this again, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is beneficial. It was nice to actually talk about things and kind of what my mindset is or has been in the past, and I think it's refreshing. What about you?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I think this time we need to get those in the chat involved, because they've been really leaving nice comments, and really nice to read their comments. So got Jen just left a comment. She said, no, nothing's wrong with wanting to not be around people. People are crazy. You can pick up people's negative energy. Is too much. Yeah, that's true. You can actually pick up people's negative energy, and you don't want to deal with it. Sometimes it's like when you feel that negative energy, it impacts you, and then you want to go off, and it was like, oh, I don't want to be dealing with all that.
Yeah, I'll message you and we'll discuss about doing another show, because I think it looks like there are people that are interested in joining the discussion. I think it would be fun to get some people, like have a little panel up here, and whoever wants to join in can, and then we can discuss it all together and then learn from each other, because I think it'd be really helpful.
Yeah. That it will be helpful. So guys, we're really sorry that we're cutting this short, but we just wanted to touch on a little bit about dealing with or coping with anxiety as a reseller, not just for the business, but also our personal lives as well. Sorry if we didn't give a shout out to everybody in the chat, but we love you and we thank you for coming out to support us. And we're gonna find time to do this again and invite people to come on, and we'll make time, because this time we just wanted to do it for an hour, but we're gonna make time next time, and we're gonna try and give a lot of people shout out in the chat. I'm not really good with names, so that's another reason. I feel like, okay, who is that again?
Yeah, thank you everyone again for coming out, and we will definitely be doing this again. And once we come up with something, I'll announce it. I'm sure Ella will announce it on her channel. And I'll make sure to announce it on the Two Beardos as well, where because most of you come into that show. So just keep on the lookout. We're going to do this again, where we're going to actually involve everyone, and we're really looking forward to it. So Ella, thank you for reaching out to me. This was very beneficial.
Thank you.
And I look forward to doing another live with you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe.
Have a good night. Thanks for coming. Bye.